Howdy everyone, Matt Ahn here for the Matt Ahn Talk Show. Like, share, and subscribe to the Matt Ahn Talk Show for more Matt Ahn Talk Show content. Today our topic is how I schooled an Autozone employee. Yep, that's right, I schooled an Autozone employee. A very knowledgeable young man. I'd say he was probably about late 20s or so. He most likely went to mechanical school. He seemed somewhat knowledgeable about mechanics, or has dealt with mechanics in recent history. But me, a person who's non-mechanics, schooled him. That's right, because I've had a history with problems related to what I'm going to talk about today. So, back in December, right after Christmas, I had my 2003 Chrysler Voyager not start. Go out there, battery dead. So, I go to jump this thing, got it to jump, ran it, turned it off. Next day, I go to turn this thing back on. Nope, not again. So I had to jump this thing again and let it run longer. Third day, I went out, tried to start it just to see if it would start. Wouldn't start for the third day in a row. So then I was like, I definitely have some kind of a dead battery of some sort here. It'll run once I jump it and then start multiple times, but then you let it sit overnight, this thing ain't starting at all. So I called up AutoZone, asked how much a new battery would cost. And he wanted to do a check of a phone number and found out that I had gotten this battery 2 years ago there at AutoZone. Now, I had thought it was longer than 2 years. It turns out it was only 2018 I got this battery, and it's a 3-year warranty. And he says, yeah, if you bring it in, you can easily just swap the battery out and get a brand new battery because it's covered under the warranty. I was like, all right. So I take this vehicle down there. Now, keep in mind, the guy that I talked to on the phone for AutoZone is different than the attendant that I had gotten in person. So I get there. The guy says he wants to do a battery check. I thought it was just a simple, the guy's going to come out with the battery, put a new battery in. Okay, shame on me, I suppose, for overlooking such thing. So this young guy, late 20s, comes out, who attended to me there at the register. Came outside a few moments later with his battery tester, and he was doing multiple tests. I had to keep turning on the vehicle, turning it off, because it did turn on, so didn't have a problem getting it rolling. Well, he comes up to me and says, the battery seems to be completely fine. It seems like you got some kind of weird voltage activity going on with your alternator. I was like, oh, that's weird. So we decided to put a new battery in. Now, the schooling part, when I schooled him, was he was kind of caught off guard a little bit about my questioning because I've had this problem in the past. Well, I go out to start this vehicle originally. It does not start multiple days in a row. Now, I had an alternator problem before with this minivan when I had gotten it back in about 2015. And how I knew that I had an alternator problem was the battery light came up on the dash. So even if the alternator was not working in this vehicle, it should still have sucked the life from the battery. Well, I got a new battery. The van's been working fine ever since. There's no battery light on the dash, nothing. The van is working fine. The real problem was it's a cheap battery that I had gotten for about $128, $140 or whatever it was, and it just so happened to die. It just got more usage than it could have, and I probably got a good life out of it for over 2 years, and it's just dead, and the cold doesn't help either. If the vehicle's sitting for a while, that's what happens. There was no alternator problem, because if there was an alternator problem, the vehicle itself would ding the battery light, which it has for me once before in the past, basically stating, hey, your alternator's not working for crap. We're now sucking life off the battery. Van runs fine, no problem. So I schooled him, and he's like, no, it doesn't work like that. there's no thing that comes up on the dash for a light for that your alternator's dead. Wrong. I got the battery light once before. So that guy was wrong. I schooled him. He didn't expect me to have knowledge of such things, but it's experience. I used my experience that I had, and I had this on my spouse's vehicle as well. The We all speculated for a while. This was back in probably June-ish or so. And well, this was last year. Sorry, last year. It was in the summertime. She started having problems with her vehicle. So multiple people had tested and says, "Ooh, this alternator doesn't seem to be turning out voltage here." Um, then she took it to the mechanics. They said, "Oh no, it's just a dead battery." So what they did is they replaced the battery, and the car ran for several months off the battery until she had the same problem again, and then they changed the alternator after we basically cornered them with this situation. It's like, we had this problem before. Why is a second battery dead? Turns out the alternator chewed the juice right out of that battery. Now, they tried to be schemers at that auto place, that's for sure. So I don't know. I just know that that one guy was not very knowledgeable in that case, and I schooled him. So there you have it. Right here, Matt Ahn Talk Show. Like, share, and subscribe here to the channel, and we'll see you for more content right here on the Matt Ahn Talk Show.